There was a joyful soundscape associated with the Walt Disney Company that allowed us all to escape as children, as adults, for so many decades. Today, folks, we're going to tell you who it was behind that, why they matter. Let's talk about the Sherman Brothers right now. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Pro Channel. It is, as ever, a joy to have you here with us as we continue our journey explaining entertainment and keeping you ahead of the culture curve. And yes, we are still singing in our sleep that there's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow shining at the end of every day, and we do so because of two brothers and the music they made that set forth perhaps the earworms that ring all the way until today in our minds when we think of the good times at the Walt Disney World Resort and classic Disney movies. We have assembled a panel, folks, as we cover the passing of the last remaining Sherman brother, and we want to talk about a legacy that matters. This is a history lesson worth listening to, and ladies and gentlemen, no tuition once again. Today we are saying goodbye to a true, absolute legend in Richard Sherman, the last of the Sherman brothers. And if you don't know his name, you do know his music. Let's read the press release that came out over the past couple of days, and then we'll give our thoughts on this. Disney legend Richard Sherman, half of the Academy Award-winning songwriting team of the Sherman Brothers, passed away Saturday, May 25th. He was 95 years old. So he lived a long life, but folks, when you are this incredible, we'd like another 95. One of the most prolific composer-lyricists in the history of family entertainment, and a key member of Walt Disney's inner circle of creative talents, and frankly, folks, someone who defended Walt his entire life, right down to the end, and we need more like those. He garnered 9 Academy Award nominations. 9. He won 2 Oscars for his work on the 1964 classic Mary Poppins, won 3 Grammy Awards, and received 24 gold and platinum albums over the course of his 65-year career. His career ran the gamut from the early days of rock and roll and television to Broadway and Hollywood. Generations of moviegoers and theme park guests have been introduced to the world of Disney through the Sherman Brothers' magnificent and timeless songs. Even today, the duo's work remains the quintessential lyrical voice of Walt Disney. The Sherman Brothers were perhaps best known for their work on Mary Poppins. It won Best Score and Original and Best Original Song for Chim Chim Cheree. Another cherished song from the film, Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, became a pop hit, entering the Billboard Hot 100 in 1965, while the lullaby, Feed the Birds, became one of Walt's favorite songs ever. And you can see them there together, playing and singing, and I believe that's Richard at the piano there. This is the statement out of from Bob Iger. Richard Sherman was the embodiment of what it means to be a Disney legend, creating along with his brother Robert the beloved classics that have become a cherished part of the soundtrack of our lives. From films like Mary Poppins and The Jungle Book to attractions like It's a Small World, the music of the Sherman Brothers has captured the hearts of generations of audiences. We are forever grateful for the mark Richard left on the world, and we extend our deepest condolences to his family. And folks, on our behalf, we forgive him for It's a Small World. Truly. We kid there because it's sad to say goodbye, but we know that these times must come. This is the way the world works, but we say it with a deep fondness towards Richard and towards his brother and what they achieved. Panel, your thoughts on this true Disney legend, someone who made the soundscape of our childhoods.
He was so very connected to the last 10 years of Walt's life and the last 10 years of Walt's production here. Obviously, Mary Poppins is Walt's masterpiece, but so much of what makes that movie endure is the music in that movie. And of course, so much about the parks, which were Walt's focused after the animation division kind of got away with him from after unionization. I'm not saying he wasn't involved, but his heart wasn't in it in the same way after they unionized. So much of the parks and so much of those last years of Disney's Walt's production were tied to Sherman Brothers music, and it really is the heart of everything that I picture what Disney should be, is in this guy right here and his smiling face and sitting down at a piano with a little bit of a cheesy song and singing It's a Small World After All And then of course it gets into the "It's a Small World," there's a nice, wonderful melody, and then of course it gets into the very childlike, a little repetitive, maybe a little too sweet at times, but it's everything that Disney should be. And
I think it's
Disney
also
isn't right now.
I think it's also symbolic and poignant that he has Tinkerbell behind him, putting pixie dust on the microphone there. And I don't want to be critical of too much when we're remembering someone, so I'll put it this way: it recalls back to a more fanciful time of Disney when things are more innocent, and when we don't have to be so introspective of every possible fault that could possibly be within every single property. It's joyous and it's fun. And that's what he and his brother brought to us, and I dare say that they brought to Walt in Walt's later years. I think that he found tremendous frivolity with them at a time when he was probably working very, very hard in his studio to bring content, and I think there was an escapism in getting to stand there with them at the piano and see what they were doing next. I think it was like Christmas Day to Walt. Lou, what are your thoughts on the passing of this tremendous icon?
Well, I met him very briefly because their children attended high school with me, the Sherman brothers. And in fact, Richard attended the same high school, Beverly High, in his time. What you were saying, Jonas, about the repetitiveness and things like that, that's part of what their genius is.
Right.
Because they were artistic, but they understood the technical requirements of those rides and how things had to circulate around again to make the timing work when, for example, on Small World, you went from the European version to the Asian version to the whatever, and they're all working in sync with each other with a seamless transition as you go through the attraction.
Right.
So they
were perhaps the earliest loopers.
Right.
Well,
Forgive me if it
yeah.
sounded like I was complaining there. No, I definitely wasn't.
I didn't think you were. But anyway, it's these guys, they understood how to encapsulate a big idea in a little song that made you want to sing along with it. Mm-hmm. That's a rare talent indeed.
Indeed. Vash, you got anything you'd like to say as we remember?
Yeah, I do. Had the pleasure of meeting him on a couple of occasions, and just the nicest guy you could ever meet. Super generous with his time and with his ear. That is for sure. He defined a generation of not just moviegoers, but also theme park enthusiasts for sure. Tiki Room. It's a Small World. Obviously, Miracles from Molecules, Carousel of Progress. One Little Spark.
Carousel of Progress is an earworm. Let me tell you. I think that sustained the entire attraction.
Absolutely, 100%. And that's the photo you showed with Walt there. That's what they were singing. And it's
Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow, folks.
I mean, just unbelievably talented. Really embodied the like everybody has said on here, the values of the Walt Disney Company of yesteryear, and it's sad how the Walt Disney Company unfortunately kind of cast them aside, especially after Walt's passing. That was really an unfortunate time for sure. But he's still, he's still a company man. He's still, performing at events. Even I want to say 3-4 years ago. Yeah. I mean, the guy was out there. The guy loved to perform and really bring joy to the world. And I think Jim Cora used to say that the sun never sets on our Magic Kingdom as well. It's a Small World is featured almost at every single castle park. And, well, we can take solace that the sun never sets on it. At least his song, It's a Small World, playing over and over again.
That's right. If the mission was to bring joy to people of all ages, mission accomplished. Culture?
Before, I want to remind people that there is a marvelous documentary about the brothers called The Boys, and it's out there on the various streaming places. And if you want to know more about somebody who meant a lot more in your life, just being in the background of it while you were at the parks than you could ever imagine, you really need to see that. excellently done documentary about them. The
Yeah, and I
boys.
think, yeah, and I you're right, Lou. That is a great documentary, but you get a little bit of understanding about what they were all about from the film with Tom Hanks as
Yeah.
well.
Saving Mr. Banks.
Yeah, because I thought that was brilliantly done. But in that arc, I'm going to say this: attractions would not be the same if it weren't for the Sherman brothers. They did this one little spark in the imagination attraction. Did you mention that one, Vash? Because
I did, yes.
yeah, that one, especially in the original attraction, you get hooked, and every single one of their songs, I would say, is an earworm. I mean, I get chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chim chiroo in my head all the time, right? And pretty much everything else, every single thing that they put together is something that will stick to you, and that's a good thing. And it does it in the best possible way. Even in the saddest of songs that they put together, there was still something there that maybe a gleam of optimism in some of the saddest things they did. But I don't know what to say. I mean, it was a matter of time, and unfortunately, we only get so much time, and it's going to be a great loss to Disney, because whether they have elected to get rid of connections to Walt, or they're unfortunately losing them due to the passage of time, they were never better than when the Sherman brothers and the old men and all of everybody was together, because it was really the golden era of Disney that I don't think is coming back anytime soon.
And the reason, by the way, is not that there aren't talented people out there. There are plenty. The reason is that this company's philosophy has changed from welcoming such people to rejecting them on reasons that have nothing to do with their creativity.
Indeed.
Well, there's a great big beautiful tomorrow shining at the end of every day. And thank you to the Sherman brothers for making it that way. Folks, we have come to the end of yet another video of pure excellence in the can. Drop it in the archives, but you can stop by and listen to it anytime. We hope many will, because this is the sort of content that we believe matters. Folks, if you believe the same thing, consider clicking the like button. Share, subscribe, click it. Stick it to the algorithms, it's the notification bell, and drop a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. What is your favorite Sherman Brother tune? Folks, wherever you are and whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.